Hi, everyone. We're very happy to be at the InCyber Forum Canada 2024. And today I'm meeting with Mathew Balcer from SentinelOne. SentinelOne is a global leader in cybersecurity, renowned for its innovative use of AI and machine learning to detect, prevent, and respond to cyber threats in real time. Can you maybe say a few words about what you do and who you are?
Yeah, so Mathew Balcer, I'm the National Director of Solution Engineering for SentinelOne here in Canada. So I lead our pre-sales team and work with our sales team to consult with customers and help them pick the best solutions.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming. And we're very happy to count SentinelOne as a huge partner of the InCyber Forum for a while now. So thank you. So I have a few questions for you today related to AI, because obviously that's our theme this year, cybersecurity in the age of AI. So my first question, with AI playing such a pivotal role in cybersecurity, how has SentinelOne adapted its approach to endpoint security to meet the challenges of this new era?
Yeah, so I think it starts with we've always had a foundation in AI in our solution. So, it was the big change between traditional security tools and the next generation of security tools. But specifically what we're trying to do now is put AI in front of the areas of our solution that could use the computational power of AI versus the human ability to, compute data, large volumes of logs, etc., and use the AI where it is strongest to facilitate and make SOC workers, security analysts, the defenders better at what they do. So we've put Gen AI in front of our SIM, in front of our EDR solutions, and we're using it in ways to make the solution faster when we're doing investigations and things like that, and also more responsive and more predictable and efficient when we're doing detection and response.
Thank you. Automation can be a game changer in reducing response times, but there's also a need for human oversight, obviously. How do you guys balance AI-driven automation with the expertise of your security teams?
Yeah, so I think some of the early, I wouldn't call it a mistake, but maybe the misunderstanding was that AI was going to come in and it was going to start to take jobs or fill roles that we didn't have. And I don't think that's the point. I think it's about efficiencies. It's about making the humans we have in role or that we're bringing into an organization to help defend it from a cyber perspective and making them better and faster. And even maybe more importantly than that, making them capable of things they weren't capable of before. So yes, automation can help. AI can certainly help, but I don't think it replaces us in any way. It's supposed to make us better. I always joke, I can only compute about 100 lines of logs per minute. And AI can compute 100 million lines of logs a minute. So it's not about replacing me. It's about giving me a tool that then allows me to compute that 100 million.
Yeah, that's very good. As threat actors increasingly use AI in their tactics, and we all know that, and everyone talks about that, but how does SentinelOne ensure its technology stays a step ahead in both detection and response?
Yeah, I definitely think that AI is a bigger advantage for the defenders than it is for the attackers. The attackers have always been inclusive. They've always worked as teams. They've always taken step-by-step processes, and they really don't need additional compute power or anything like that. This is what they do for a living. The defenders, on the other hand, have certainly been on the back of their heels for a long time. It's been the cat and mouse, and we've been the mouse for a long time. Now I think it makes us both cats. So I think this is giving us the small advantage we may need to equalize the playing field. Because AI, and I don't even know that we're seeing that much use of it in the attacker world, but it certainly gives us the advantage to catch up because, again, it's about efficiency, right? It strengthens our detection, makes our response time a lot quicker. Maybe we get to a point where we have all this cognitive surplus and all this time surplus where we can use that to think of new ways to defend ourselves and certainly be more proactive in our defense. And I think that's where it becomes a bigger advantage for us as an AI companion to the things we're doing in security compared to the hackers who are just using it to do menial tasks that they probably had figured out a better way to do anyways.
Yeah, I love the cat analogy.
Yeah, we're both cats.
um, Insider threats remain a complex issue for cybersecurity teams. How does SentinelOne's technology support organizations in detecting and managing these risks, especially as AI evolves?
Yeah, I think the mentality can't change, right? The mentality should have and should always be that insiders are as dangerous as the outsiders. In fact, they probably have more privilege and trust, so they're probably more dangerous than the outsiders to a certain extent. But we've always thought of them as that. I hope most organizations do anyways. And so we've restricted access and we've taken measures to kind of reduce the risk of the insiders. We shouldn't act any different now because we have AI, right? So the things like data and hallucination and bias and all the things we're concerned about in an AI world, we should be as concerned that those things could be affected by someone inside the organization as we can outside. So at SentinelOne, we wouldn't have come to market with any AI components if we didn't believe, one, we could keep the data safe, we could avoid bias, we could keep it from hallucinating and give people false positives or send people down a false investigation road. So we do the same thing from an inside. We don't want anybody inside a customer's organization or inside SentinelOne to be able to poison the well to a certain extent and manipulate the data in a bad way. So we've put in a ton of guardrails. It was the first thing we imagined as we went down the AI road was putting in the guardrails, putting in the data protection, and making sure those are as enforced as if I was thinking about giving someone access to the most important data within my organization. Because that, at the end of the day, is essentially what it is. The security data we collect is up there as amongst the most important data we collect.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Looking ahead, how does SentinelOne see AI continuing to shape the cybersecurity landscape? And what role do you anticipate the company playing in that future?
So thus far, I think it's only fair to say we've led from the front, right? We are the first to market with a full AI-led, whether you call it a SIM, a data lake, or a security data repository. We're the first to market with something that is actually usable and security purpose bred, right? We didn't build an AI bot to sit in front of our solution that was, something like a chat GPT. It's purpose built, constrained and guardrailed for security use cases only. And I think we're going to continue down that path. I think we've seen already within our customers where that's been very successful in helping them investigate, in helping them defend and return to resilience. And I think that's the mentality we're going to have. How can we continue to enhance the functionality of our AI to give security workers, the human beings that we talked about earlier, a better chance at winning the fight? And so I think we've taken the big first step, which is to actually come to market with the AI front end. Now it's about taking the little steps to refine, increase functionality, and make sure that when we hear about challenges and use cases that our customers have, that we can maybe find the way that AI can help them address those challenges. People did. If we think of the space race, people were racing to the moon to raise their hand and say we did it. This is not that. This is the race to help people the most and to help defend organizations better than we ever have before. And that's our mentality. And so we will continue to evolve our AI solution to meet that challenge, help people defend better and faster.
Okay, thank you. With organizations increasingly relying on multi-cloud setups, what unique capabilities does SentinelOne bring to protect these complex environments from modern cyber threats? I'm sorry.
No,
it's
that's
been
great.
2 days.
Me too. I think the one thing that stands out for me in what we're doing, and specifically in the cloud provider realm, is it's not even about the multi-cloud, because we should now assume as vendors and people who are building security technology, we should assume that customers are going to spread it out, especially with what we've seen over the last few months, where different vendors have faced challenges of breaches and compromise. risk and compliance is now telling everybody, you've got to spread yourself out. You've got to use multi-cloud, multi-vendor, multi-solution type mentality. Well, we think that we should not force someone to adapt to our solution in that way. We should be adapting to that mentality. And we always have. But I think if there's one thing that stands out to me in what we're doing in the cloud world that's really helping organizations is there is the multi-vendor challenge, but there's also the silo challenge, right? The cloud teams, specifically the DevOps teams, the teams that are bringing applications to market for all these customers, they often don't share the same mind space or the same, objectives of the security team. Their job is to put out an application or some resource that is generating revenue for an organization. So that sometimes makes them a little allergic to security. And one thing that we've done is we have this thing called an offensive engine that regardless of where your footprint is in the cloud, a DevOps or a DevSecOps engineer can actually use our offensive engine to verify and actually sort of quote unquote pen test their image, their infrastructure before it ever gets handed over to the security team to look for vulnerabilities, etc. They can actually do their own inspection so that they're not going back and forth or being slapped on the hand by the security team saying, what you're doing is not secure enough. You're not doing security by design. This allows them to have the controls, to be the smart guy in the room and say, you know what? We are building with security in mind. We are doing our own checks. We are making sure, and then allowing them to correct all those things before they even try and go into production and face the scrutiny of security. So I think it's bringing, almost a side effect is it's bringing the security team and the DevOps team and the cloud team closer together because now they can collaborate in a more natural way. So it allows the cloud guy to show up and say, hey, look, I did my homework. My image is safe. My infrastructure is safe. And so that offensive engine that we have has been a kind of a game changer for us.
Okay, thank you. I have a last question. As a leader in AI-driven cybersecurity, how does SentinelOne ensure that businesses of all sizes, not just large enterprises, have access to advanced security tools?
Yeah, well, we didn't do that by charging everyone $1 billion to get it. So, no, I recently met Steve Wozniak from one of the founders of Apple. And one of the things that he pointed out was my goal when I designed that first personal computer is I needed compute to be accessible to anybody, not just the big organizations that could afford mainframes. I needed it to be accessible to the home user. And I think we're seeing AI the same way. It shouldn't be an expensive option or something that you really have to build outside our solution. It should come with every instance of SentinelOne, and it shouldn't be either financial or any other kind of burden there. It should just be part of what we do. So we want that to be accessible. We want it to be part of every SentinelOne deployment, and we make it that way both financially and just integration into the solution and make it easy to use.
Okay, thank you so much, Mathew Balcer.
Thank you so much for the time.
And thank you for being a partner of this amazing event. It was 2 days in Montreal. And yeah, I'll see you around.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for the time.